was going on, there were still Russian soldiers in Burkina Faso. Remember, it was the whole news report where Russia withdrew about 100 of its soldiers from Burkina Faso to go help with the war in Ukraine, right? So you got to understand that. And as I said before, you got to understand, man, like if you're looking at this whole thing, whether you're on the fence or skeptical or whatnot, no matter how you slice it, again, we are not in power. They are. They have all the keys. They got all the doors guarded, everything. So if you want to choose to live outside of, being primitive, right? If you want to go ahead and use the resources that's, under the ground, then you're going to need help. You're going to need people. They don't have the type of status yet, Burkina Faso, to be on this global stage as far as trade. Yeah, you have gold, but so does everybody. Everybody got gold. And a lot of people are already selling, and it's about relationships. Why should I buy from you? What type of deal am I going to get? So now, the 85-15 deal to most people may seem like robbery, but in this case, it's like, it's beneficial because one, what happened with Russia? Russia has gold sanctions on them, right? So they basically can't sell gold to the Western world. They need somebody else to get this gold from, or to have a different avenue to, sell gold. It's sanctions on their country. So, of course, they can impose sanctions on Burkina Faso as well, but that's unlikely to happen with no real reason, war-wise. But yeah, it's beneficial to Russia and the people that's running the Kremlin right now to go ahead and do all that. But you have to look at it, and it's like it's so much wrapped up in what's going on there that it's a huge question mark. That if I was, supposedly going over there to try to do some type of business with one of those countries, and I step back and I look at the picture and everything that's going on, I would back out. The only way I would stay and do business is if I was desperate. If this was my last hope and I was desperate, it was a life or death matter, and I needed this assistance, and I knew I can get it from these places. Other than that, I would not do business with any of these countries. Not at all, because it's just too much. It's too many questions, too many question marks, too much shit to look at and scratch your head. So my whole thing is I look at a lot of stuff involving in all these nations. It's one of the reasons why I say they all in this together. It's just too much. Like, this can be very easy. What are we fighting about, really? We have all this wealth and money, and we can easily come together to do things beneficial for us all and our people. It's not what they want, right? Control for what? So I even look at the sanctions. Look at the fact that you have these gold sanctions on Russia where they can't sell to the Western world, right? Well, guess who's buying gold from Russia? The UAE, right? And the UAE is supposed to be friends with the US, which as I always talk about, Bush and, the Saudi kings and them holding hands and kissing and hugging and all this and that. Supposed to be good allies with America. Why are you buying gold from our supposed enemy? Unless you're buying gold from them and then selling it to us. That's the way we can backdoor and get gold from Russia without it being official, without people knowing that we actually still doing business with Russia. You look at it that way. But it's just a lot, man, to look into. Everything is just so shady. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of stay away from the African stuff, because these people are sellouts on a monumental, huge scale. These people are so brainwashed. Because again, think about it. Again, y'all gonna hate this white man, but I'm gonna tell you this: we got some good shit from them that we learned by watching their deception. Because we got this, unyielding, non-bullshitting way about us being black people, and it's like, people in Africa they're just so trusting, right? It's just so much bullshit they accept. They can hate us all they want. We'll be like, fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. Like, you tripping. And it's like, dude, if we are the majority, we're the majority. This is chess, man. Play the game. We're the majority in this continent. There's no way these people should be running anything. And then we're looking at it, they're looking at it, I should say, and saying, well, if we don't do business with these European nations, how are we going to get money? Dude, the European nations are going to starve without you. You got to just play the game and freaking force their hand. They need you. They need Africa. And this is what the rulers are not understanding. They need Africa. So if you kick them all out, change everything, unite, and have it benefit the people. And they can say, well, then we're not going to give you guys any money. So what? We don't need nothing from none of you. We have everything in Africa. And then watch as everybody eventually is going to want to come back to Africa to get the resources from there. Plain and simple. I just think, there's no unity. People don't understand. They're easily bought. And that's the issue I have, with the whole thing. But you have to look at this deal. And the deal he just made, and here's another thing, because you got to look at it. So you have what's happening with America and Russia, what's going on with the war over there. This guy flies in who America has already put on their radar as basically being a problem. So now you're doing deals with Russia to piss America off for whatever it is. To me, strategically, if I'm looking at it, it's like, now I'm going to force you to either help me or show your hand, right? Because now it's like, dude, I can't really protect this shit, right? I need help. So who better to get to help when you have America on your ass than Russia? And that's how it would look to him. But as I've been telling you guys for years, there is no America versus Russia. There's no America versus China. It's these leaders versus us, whether you believe it or not. But they still got to play the game, especially when all eyes are looking, right? So this dude is either super fucking smart or he has no clue. But what a move, right? To me, I was like, wow, because I get it. So to me, this is huge because you got to look at it, one, because now America can use this. We can use this and say this dude is an ally with Russia and, it's going to be a problem. But this is a deal, right? Basically a raw materials deal. It's a deal that he struck. So the thing is, one, to me, this is a strategic move. And this is giving them time to get shit together, still make money and produce money for them and their people, while they basically supposedly, or the thought is, have protection from Russia, right? From these corporations. Because now that there's a huge business interest in that place, then, nobody's coming in to attack for those reasons. So to keep America off your ass, you got Russia in there, because if America comes in there and does anything to Russia, it's going to cause a huge war, especially against oligarch. But you got to look at it and say, one, either this is a smart move or a horrible move, because if these people are indeed on the same side, like I've been saying, what's to stop them from backdooring you or from stabbing you in the back and, getting you out of here? Now, if that happens, then that window, that's a small window. It closes for them. And they're not going to be allowed to, they show their hand. And then that's the move, because now you're showing your hand. You do something like that, you show your hand, and you show everybody else that if we decide to do this, we can't rely on Russia and their people. So that's going to close the door on that. So you can either go in, make crazy billions of dollars, crazy amounts of money real quick, get out, and provide protection for the time that you do or what have you, and just let it be, right? The worry for the Western world is this: other countries will follow and begin to want to set up their own infrastructure and their own military industrial complex to basically protect them from them, right? From the Western world. And if that spreads, or if this move somehow unites other African countries together, it's going to be a problem. But the problem with that, again, would be we don't have a military industrial complex that we control. And even if, because you got to understand that, Western world is smart. They're bringing in these weapons. We're not going to give you a freaking munitions plant and let you, take it over once, y'all decide to stage a coup or what have you. So you can't always ship stuff in. So some of these countries have munitions plants. They're building weapons there. They're making weapons in a lot of these countries because they have that much of a stranglehold on their leadership and their people. But if these nations decide to run themselves and oust these people, they would take control of those factories and have control over producing those weapons. And then we'll see staged, fake ass attacks, which is what I'm expecting with this guy. Something to say, oh, now all of a sudden we have, African terrorists, right? And, they call the people that's the rebels, what have you, they call them terrorists, but they're not terrorists against Americans, terrorists against their own people. But once you have Africans committing terrorism on American soil or giving the Western world a reason to go in there by force, then, things are going to be taken back. So I'm glad one of the things that they do is a camera everywhere all the time. Somebody's always recording, always reporting. That is smart. It's a good way to do it. But my thing is my issue is more of a, question mark, a worry of we'll see what's going to happen. But one of the things that sickens me to my stomach is when I see these photos. Right, when I see these videos of these African leaders coming together to basically sell their people out. It's sickening, man. It's one of the things that pissed me off the most because everything we've been through. Like, see, one of the things is I argued with an African one time before that was in America, and we had this whole conversation about why Africans don't like African Americans, what that whole thing is about. And then, from people who I know that come from Africa that come over here, they have told me when they go through those little seminars and all that preparing to come into America, a lot of the jargon is to not like African Americans. Like, we are basically spoiled and we are basically, misusing our gift and what we have, the so-called American dream. And they don't understand what the fuck's going on here and where we at. And we dealing with these people. We are the minority here. You are the fucking minority. You people are the majority in your country, and you can't come together to keep the fucking white man out of here. That's crazy to me. So you talking about us, who we're surrounded by these people. They are the police. Our police, our military don't look like us. Your police, your military looks like you. And you guys can't come the fuck together to get this shit together, to decide that, hey, it's maybe not the best thing to work for these Europeans. We need to come together and fix this shit. And y'all got a problem with us? And y'all the majority, and these people basically making more money and raping y'all out of your own resources? No, I'm not trying to hear that. It's one of the reasons why I've talked about this before, is why they had to get rid of Garvey. See, Garvey understood all this shit. And Garvey wanted us with our knowledge, and it helped that we got a little injection of these white folks' ideology, for the most part. Because as far as looking at things on the material side of things, we understood, wealth. We understood production. We understood how to get things done. And having business-minded Black Americans go into Africa and tell these people what they're walking on and how to basically refine it, how to manufacture and produce and use what's in the ground to grow GDP and, get a military industrial complex, get protection, get advancements in medicine, and everything that we would need to grow infrastructure to become the superpower that Africa should fucking be. Plain and simple. There's no way, man. There's no way if you understand what's going on, you can't see what's happening there. And the problem for them is so vast. You're talking about scared. Man, they won't let these people fucking have nothing major. But if you arm these people, if these Africans had weapons, if they had a military industrial complex and knowledge, right? It's over. It's a wrap. Now, you have absolute genius African people. Of course, we know they're actually working with Ibrahim Traore and coming up with the, all of the intelligence that they're going to need to do what they're trying to do. It's out there. We have Africans that's inventing and creating some amazing things over there. And for the most part, it's being controlled by the Europeans. But you have a lot that is not, and it's because of funding reasons. But when you have a mineral, a gold-rich country like Burkina Faso, you can do a lot. And 15% of what they're producing over there is going to go a long way, and especially over the time that they need it to. And it's just making sure you got the next person ready to step up and that they're building something with the people. Because that's the main thing. The people is it. It's the people. And you have to have the people full of hope and ready to push the movement. And now you're seeing it from everywhere. All kinds of people, different countries in Africa is reporting on this man, right? So yeah, when we look at all these beautiful cities in Africa, Joburg and Benin, and it's a lot of beautiful cities in Africa, right on the beach, coastline, a lot of beautiful places. They don't own it. Their infrastructure was not created by the African people, may have been built in some capacity by Africans, labor, by Africans or what have you, but it's not owned by the people. It's not really benefiting the people. It's a beautiful city that a lot of them can't even afford to live in, right? It's built for other people, companies, corporations, what have you, and rich people are coming there. And it looks good in a lot of these places. And yeah, you have other parts of Africa that is, developed, that you have Africans, rich Africans living there or what have you. But again, it's not benefiting the people as a whole or the continent as a whole. And that's the problem. So while you'll have some people content and happy with the way things are going, a united Africa is the only way forward, period, point blank. And what are they going to do to stop that? And that's the whole thing. And you just got to go and look at history and understand everything that's going on and the major role that Africa plays in it. I mean, you're talking about China with manufacturing and everything like that. China needs Africa. Everybody does. Everybody needs Africa. And it's, you can't afford for things to go crazy over there or to lose control of the people as far as the Western world and people that's in control of this stuff, because they would lose crazy money. And having these nations, these countries come under their own, right? What's going to happen? I mean, it's not the end of the fucking world. You just got to do business normally that you would, the normal way you would do business. It's not a big fucking deal. You want to kill off billions of people, just so you can keep doing the same shit over and over again, spending money you'll never spend in a lifetime. It don't make sense. What is up with this? What is the point? It's a lot more to it, as I talk about. Because at the end of the day, these nations, these countries become independent. They're just going to be doing business. And for the most part, the countries that can do business with them, the owners of these companies are already multi-billionaires. They don't need no more fucking money, man. So that tells you this is about more than money. This is about control, right? Because going back to what I was originally talking about in the beginning of the video, if we maintain that control that we had before slavery and us being the number one producer of, minerals and materials, what have you, then we would be the superpower on the planet. Black folks, not them. But yeah, I can go on and on about this whole subject. But yeah, been paying attention, keeping up with the whole thing. This guy has to be careful. There's a lot more to this whole thing, a lot more going into it, and we're going to see a lot more. And I'll talk about it here and there, but it's a lot. But thanks for taking the time to watch. Make sure you guys take advantage of the Shopify, Amazon deal or what have you. Link is in the description. Also, the Join Scholar Society link is in the description. We will be back. Merkabah Scholar Society members back to the calendar soon. As soon as this app finishes, which it should be available tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday should be up and out by then. And we'll get back to normal, right? So we'll see you guys next video. Peace.